Today we're going to rebuild this SRAM ESP 7.0. This is the carbon one over here. And the only tools you need are some Allen keys and some pliers. Okay, so now we got the pulley off and that washer off. You should see the cage kind of popped out a little bit. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go over here and unscrew that little bolt up there. Okay, so I was unscrewing this thing and it'll kind of spring out on me pretty fast. We have the shaft here, we got the spring, little washer, and the cage, and there's a little bolt that just comes out here like that. And now we just got our pinnacle here. We have the 6 mil on one side and unscrew this with the other. Alright, so now we got everything all nice and taken apart, but we have this ceramic pulley here. I cleaned it up just to show you guys. As you can tell, it spins very smooth and fast because it's ceramic after all. But if it doesn't, I'll show you how to re-grease the bearings. So you just want to grab a razor blade or a pick. Razor blade is better for this. Go in the middle of the seal like this and pop it up. You want to go on all sides because you don't want to damage it too much. There you go. Now you pop off the seal. So as you can see, we got both our seals off and it spins smooth, but there's a bunch of dirt in there, so this is a perfect time to re-grease it. You want to get like a toothbrush and some degreaser and kind of spray out all the dirt. So now we get everything all nice and taken apart. Now it's finally time to clean. For this, you can use like a cleaner or a degreaser, like I said earlier. You can also use like a nylon brush or a brass brush, maybe for the pulleys, maybe the cages if it has a bunch of dirt on it. And also, if you're using like a harsh cleaner, like brake cleaner, you want to stay away from plastic and rubber, or especially this cage, this carbon stuff. It could degrade the color on that as well, or take off the sticker. And I'll be using this ultrasonic cleaner, or I'm using this water and dish soap. Alright, now we got everything all nice and cleaned down, ready to go. And for the assembly, we're going to use some grease. Alright, first of all, let's talk about this pulley. We got it all nice and cleaned out, spinning nice and smooth. I dropped like a tiny drop of chain oil in here, and check it out. Spins super fast, but you know what they say, you can either make it fast or make it last. This thing's old, so I'm probably going to put some grease in here, and yeah, just make it roll nice and smooth. And I'm going to be using this Shimano premium grease over here. Alright, so now we got our grease packed in. Grab your seal, make sure it's cleaned off. These could have gotten bent when you pulled them out with the razor blade, so you just want to straighten them back out. It's pretty easy to do. You want to get that silver or matte gold side and have that facing down. And then just go ahead and just pop them in with your finger. These seals are really easy to pop in. When you press them in, you'll feel them like kind of nudge in there. And how you know they're in, you just clean off the grease and make sure you see two of the silver rings, one right here and right there. And yeah, just make sure it spins nice and smooth, and there you go. You're all good to go. All right, now time for the pinnacle here. I just greased up the inside over here and on the back as well. You want to grab your bolt. You want to grease that up as well. Make sure you got that wavy washer on there. Pop it up, slide her in. And then just thread on this little nut thing. And you don't really need to tighten this thing down. Just get it nice and snug. And yeah, there you go. All right, now you want to grease up the inside of this area where the spring goes in. Grab your spring and grease that up as well. Does not matter which way it goes in. Both ends are identical. So the little hole is right here up top. Go ahead and pop it in. There you go. Okay, now it's time to put on this cage, and there's this shaft here which plugs into there, and there's also a washer on there, but they're very similar to these two washers. These two washers go on the sealed bearing pulley here, and it's hard to tell on camera, but these two washers are kind of a silver color and this one's kind of a gold color. You want the one that's kind of a gold color to go on the shaft here. You want to just pop it on here, and then it meshes with the cage like so. Now grease up this whole spring shaft, and then you want to make sure you grease up under that washer as well, this whole area. And then just go ahead, line up the spring and pop it in like so. Okay, so now your derailleur looks something like this. You want to grab the cage, you want to make sure the spring is engaged over there, and you want to turn the cage counterclockwise all the way around until you go past that little point where there's that hole. You want to go past the hole, and you want to go kind of around it. That spring is going to want to slip out, so as you're turning it, you want to have it at an angle like this. It's going to help keep the spring in place. I found that to be helpful, so yeah, just go around like so. Okay, so I finally got the cage in. This is probably one of the most difficult spring cages I've ever done in my life. It's a horrible design. It springs out very easily, so I'll just walk you through it real quick because I only had one chance to get this right. I was at this for like almost half an hour. So the first thing you want to do, you want to put this in. You want to put in this little bolt before you put on the spring. Essentially, once you get the spring in, it might take a while. You immediately have to put on those two washers out for this pulley. There's two other washers that I showed you earlier. Put the pulley on and screw on the bolt, and that will tighten this thing down to push it onto here. And hopefully that'll stay. And yeah, just best of luck to you. Now we got the tension pulley here. Just grease up the inside of this pulley. Grab your steel bushing, grease up the inside of that, slide it on, and we got our pulley seals. There you go. And yeah, then just tighten down this pulley bolt, make sure it spins nice and smooth, and you got your little clamp bolt right here, and there you go. And now you got yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur. Again, I wouldn't trust this thing at all. The way this spring goes on is very sketchy to me. I don't like the design at all. So yeah, you could put this thing in the museum, you know, you could run it on your bike, shove it up your ass, doesn't really matter. So yeah, I hope you found this video useful in some way, and I'll see you. Bye.